Do you ever hear something so brutally honest that it feels like your heart just skipped a beat? And yet, somehow you were expecting it all along. Let me ask you this: what would you do if the person you loved, the person you trusted with everything, suddenly admitted that they could no longer give you what you really wanted, and that includes something you've always dreamed of? I'm talking about the raw, gut-wrenching truth in relationships, the kind most people never dare to say out loud. Picture this: a wife sits across from her husband, trembling, her voice quiet but insistent, and she says, "We can no longer have children." Pause. Let that sink in. The words hang in the air, heavier than a thunderstorm. You think you know love, you think you know compromise. But then comes the twist. The man you trusted responds, not with comfort, not with solutions, but with something equally honest, maybe even more shocking. He admits, "I can't give you what you really want." Pa-boom. Right there, in the first 30 seconds, the perfect storm. Now tell me, what would you do in that moment? Walk away? Fight? Cry in silence? Or confront the painful truth that maybe, just maybe, love is enough to cover the cracks in your life? And here's a secret most people won't tell you: this isn't just about children. This is about expectations, tradition, guilt, and the invisible chains that bind us. The forbidden knowledge that no one shares out loud is that sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who hurt you the most. But don't go anywhere, because by the end of this video, you're going to see why every one of us hides these truths, why love isn't enough, and why some of the most explosive secrets in relationships are hidden in the simplest conversations. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, because these are the kind of stories you cannot hear anywhere else. Let's rewind a little. In this scene, she reminds him, carefully, almost hesitantly, about past conversations. "You said kids are too expensive, too much responsibility." But now her words trail off, filled with unspoken heartbreak. You see, this isn't just a disagreement over money or timing. This is a collision of dreams, values, and expectations. And it's precisely here that the tension becomes unbearable. He tries to explain himself. "I waited till now to say it because you keep bothering me." Oh wait, did you hear that? You keep bothering me? That's the raw, almost unfiltered reality of resentment. It's not love, not fully. It's the bitter undercurrent that even the strongest relationships sometimes can't escape. And then comes the moment that will make you question everything. "I can't give you what you really want." But three little words, but they land like a bomb in the middle of a calm city street. Have you ever felt that moment in your own life? When someone you love openly admits that they can't meet your deepest desires, your most sacred dreams. And yet, despite the pain, you want to hold on. Because letting go seems even scarier. This is where the story gets juicy. And where I want to hear from you: if you were in her shoes, would you fight, or would you walk away? Comment below. Your opinion might just be part of the conversation that changes everything. Here's a secret the media doesn't tell you. Most couples avoid these conversations. Why? Because society tells us to pretend everything is perfect. But behind closed doors, the truth comes out. And when it does, it's explosive. Look closely. He's not just rejecting her desire for children. He's revealing something more forbidden. Deeper truth about emotional availability, vulnerability, and the silent judgments that creep into every home. She pushes, desperately. "I just want to try to open, to be vulnerable and honest." And what happens? He shuts it down. The tension loops. Every line here is a push and pull, a psychological tug of war that leaves you on the edge of your seat. Now, imagine this applied to your life. How many small conversations are actually ticking time bombs, hiding forbidden truths, waiting to explode in your relationship? This isn't just drama. It's a mirror. A reflection of the secrets we all keep, the compromises we make, and the silent pain we try not to acknowledge. Let's pause for a moment. I want you to imagine something. Scenario time. If your partner told you exactly what he told her, without sugarcoating, no apologies, pure truth, would you A, try to fix the relationship, B, accept it and adapt, C, walk away immediately? Comment below. I'll be reading every single response, because here's the fascinating part: your choices might say more about you than the couple in this story. And a little self-deprecating truth. I probably would have argued, cried, and maybe even thrown the pillow across the room. Okay, definitely thrown the pillow. But that's just me. Here's where it gets even darker. You thought the first confession was the climax? No. This is only the beginning. The deeper the conversation goes, the more we realize that it's not about money, kids, or responsibilities. It's about trust, respect, and the terrifying question: can love survive when our deepest desires collide? And if you think you know the answer, well, stick around. Because the next part will reveal the secrets even psychologists hesitate to discuss. The forbidden truths about compromise, emotional neglect. And what happens when support isn't enough? The storm is just starting. You know that feeling when you think the worst is over, but it's only just begun? That's exactly where we are. She thought the bombshell about children was the peak. He thought being honest would end the argument. But here's the shocking truth: honesty can be more dangerous than lies. Think about it. How many relationships are actually held together by honesty? Or is it just a mask we wear while quietly resenting each other behind closed doors? Now picture this: you're in the same room, both trying to process heartbreak, guilt, and fear. You want answers, but every word feels like walking across a field of landmines. And then comes the line that hits harder than anything before. You know deep down what you really want, you just don't want to admit it. Boom. Did you feel that? That's the alpha level gut punch of reality. Not only is he rejecting her desire for children, he's confronting her with a brutal mirror, her own unspoken truths. And here's a secret most people never realize: when someone calls you out on your deepest wants, it doesn't feel like a conversation. It feels like a trial. Let's unpack this. Why does this hurt so much? Because relationships aren't just about sharing joy, they're about shared vulnerability. When that is denied, dismissed, or minimized, the emotional toll is catastrophic. She tries again. I just want to have a conversation. To be vulnerable and open, and his response: silence, defensiveness, frustration. Classic pattern. We've all seen it, or maybe lived it. One person pouring their heart out while the other erects walls, claiming love is enough, claiming supportive, claiming compromise is enough. Spoiler, it's never enough. But here's the twist, the forbidden knowledge few dare to reveal. This tension, this fight, this emotional roller coaster, it's not a flaw in their relationship. It's human nature. The secret psychologists won't tell you on TikTok is that conflict isn't a warning sign, it's a diagnostic tool. It shows where trust breaks down, where emotional needs aren't being met, and where the true cost of compromise begins to pile up. And let me ask you, if your partner said, with perfect honesty, I can't give you what you really want, how would that feel? Liberating? Crushing? Or something even stranger, a mix of both? Time for some audience interaction. Let's do a little poll. Don't be shy. Scenario: you're married or in a committed relationship. Your partner admits they can't give you your biggest dream, something you've wanted for years. What do? Option A: fight tooth and nail for it, accept and adapt. Option C: try walk away before resentment builds. Comment below your answer. Seriously, I read every single one. This is like a relationship experiment live. And if you're thinking, I'd probably throw the TV across the room, don't worry. I would too. Full disclosure, I have zero in emotional confrontations. And let's be real for a second. How many of us have been in moments where we try to open up, only to be met with indifference or defensiveness? It's maddening, right? Yet, most of us laugh it off. We call it married life, or adulting, or some euphemism that masks heartbreak. But here's the truth. If your partner doesn't listen, it's not about failing to communicate. It's about failing to value emotional truth. And that's a secret most people don't want you to know. Ignoring someone's vulnerability is like planting a seed for relationship collapse. You water it with silence, feed it with avoidance, and one day, it explodes. Let's get deeper. He says, I can't give you what you really want, but she knows there's more underneath. What he doesn't say, but everyone watching already feels, is this: he fears responsibility, judgment, and cultural expectation. He fears failure, not love, and he fears vulnerability. That's the forbidden knowledge. The secret that relationships hide in plain sight. Love is never just about feelings. It's about courage, confrontation, and facing your deepest insecurities. Now imagine how volatile this becomes when families, traditions, and external pressures are thrown into the mix. Suddenly, every conversation about kids or responsibility becomes a war zone of unspoken truths. And here's where we loop back to our tension. She's begging to be seen, to be heard, to be validated. And every line he speaks, every defense he raises, every I'm trying, becomes a brick in the wall separating them. It's painful, it's human, and it's addictive to watch. Because deep down, we recognize ourselves in these conflicts. The fights we had, the truths we avoided, the regrets we can't erase. Speaking of avoiding truths, anyone else here ever tried to open up about something personal and got shut down so fast you weren't even sure if you'd spoken? Yeah. I once tried to tell my best friend about my dream of quitting my job and moving across the country, and he looked at me like I had grown a second head. I mean, classic. Heartbreak is universal, friends. And that's the brilliance of this story. It's relatable, it's messy, and it's real. No sugarcoating, no fake drama, just raw, unfiltered truth. But here's the kicker. This isn't over yet. The real bombshell hasn't dropped. The deeper we go, the darker the truths, the more forbidden knowledge is revealed. Imagine standing there, hearing your partner say, I love you. I support you. But I can't give you what you really want. And feeling the tension loop, the mental wrestling, the emotional earthquake shaking every foundation you've built together. That's the alpha level suspense. That's the kind of story that hooks viewers, keeps them on the edge of their seat, and leaves them asking what happens next. And here's a little secret you can't ignore. When love collides with truth, chaos doesn't just happen, it loops, it twists, and it makes us question every choice we've ever made. So what happens next? How do you confront someone who says they can't meet your deepest desires? Is there forgiveness? Is there compromise? Or is this just the beginning of a slow unraveling that no one wants to admit? By the time we reach the next page, you're going to see the emotional fallout, the confrontations that cut deeper than any words, and the truths that will make you gasp, reflect, and maybe even cringe at your own life choices. The storm isn't just approaching, it's here. And the secrets, they're about to get even